I got to hit record. I hit record. Okay. Hello.
Recording.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Hello, everyone.
Look at the bear.
There is a bear up there.
Is that the president of China?
You better beware because there's a bear up there.
Listen, he just hates being called Winnie the Pooh. So every time since I've heard that, I just make that reference every time, just because I'm sure someone. I want to get my social media check where I'll never be able to visit China. I'll see Paul Shelley and then be immediately arrest and I want a country that I'm banned from. All right, and China seems like a good one to try.
I think you'll find they'd call it Paul Sherry.
Paul Sherry.
So we are joined today by Shiver and his bear. Shiver. Well, actually, no. Hang on. Sorry. There are too many important things for me to talk about right now for me to get them in and out of order. So I'm going to start with an intro. It's not a very long intro today. Tomorrow is November 11th. Tomorrow is Remembrance Day.
Veterans Day for those of you in the States.
Yeah, Veterans Day for the States. Remembrance Day for those of us in Commonwealth countries, Canada, the UK. Australia,
most of the world.
Most of the world, really. It's just America that wants to be different. Yeah, just America that wants to be different. All I want to say is, we can't thank everyone who serves enough. It's literally impossible to do. But we have to try. So, thank you to everyone that has served, that is serving. That's it. Thank you.
That's a hell of a sacrifice to do in your life. So yeah.
I don't even pretend to understand I don't have words. It's it means everything to more people than you can possibly imagine, and thank you, everyone. Okay. That said, I don't know.
Segue?
It's a terrible segue. I don't know what to.
I will segue into what we're doing.
And now I will segue.
Yeah. Do you want to segue? Well, let's hang on. I want to see if I can get sound on this. So give me a second. I want to try and transition over to this. I think I've got it. Wait, is it there? Yes. I need to see if I can get sound on it though. Crud. No, it should be there.
This is the weirdest podcast for me ever because
this.
I cannot see Relay Twitch.
Is it blocked there?
No. I don't have sound for that. 1 second.
No, it's just all I've got is my tablet.
Oh.
How do I add a sound thing? 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Relay.
I was going to say if you're in Japan, so I'm assuming because I know I have friends who work with Twitch in Japan, and I know they're really pushing Twitch in Japan right now, and it's actually apparently doing fairly well in Japan right now as well.
Have you seen the Netflix over here? They've got fucking everything. It's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, let's try this.
I blame the NEETs, but I'm okay with that. There we go.
The Virgil Raid. Vega 2. The Lost Squad. These are the names of the groups, places, and events that have made history. But what of the men and women who fought in them? Sacrificed so much. This year, we honor these men and women in a week of service. Seven Days of Valor. The 7 Days of Valor honor those who've served in the armed forces. Join us as we remember their actions and give back. This year, we're raising money for Stack Up, an organization that helps veterans through the community and common experience of gaming. To find out more, go to stackup.org. Together, let's remember the honor, dedication, and valor of the men and women who kept us safe.
So in honor of Veterans Day, and I realized I had an echo there. That's my end because I actually was listening to the cast. So in honor of Veterans Day and Remembrance Day, I put together a crew of folks to stream and raise money for an organization that helps veterans and active duty personnel in NATO countries, Australia, and New Zealand. It's called Stack Up. They do lots of help through gaming, so I figured it's an appropriate kind of charity to help with not just giving active duty troops, so games and consoles and stuff like that. It helps them relax and unwind and give them a sense of normalcy, especially in times of conflict. But also helps them to transition, because one of the hardest things that veterans have to do is to transition from military life to civilian life. It's not an easy transition. It's complicated, and you're going from a situation in many cases where you're, everything around you could be a threat, to it's not, and it's hard to turn it off. I've had friends body slam loved ones on accident. I've had a friend nearly kick down my door because it was locked and it was jammed, and so because he couldn't figure out how to open it, he almost kicked the damn door down, because if there's a door there, it's locked and it's a threat. You need to get in. You get in. And I've seen the effects of PTSD in friends and family, and I don't like it. And I want to try to help folks readjust. And video games is one of those things that's a common experience amongst a lot of us. So I brought this group together to raise money. We've raised over $1,900 so far in funds. If you want to help out, it's the link's up there, the bit.ly/7-days/of/valor. I'll put the links in the chat as well. We're raising money. We're raising money all week, and goes to help good causes. They even have mental health groups. They have these groups called Stacks.
It's a subdued wave because... Mm-hmm. Thank you. But, I want to say, Paul, thanks for doing this. I do know that the Star Citizen community gets really involved in a lot of things, in a lot of different charities, and we try and do a lot, and it's great to see you organizing and running something like this, because it's very important to a lot of people. So thank you.
Yep, thank you. And I wanted to make sure that we had enough time to raise it, because Stack Up does have a lot of support, and this weekend is usually the biggest weekend for them.
Right.
So that's why I extended it through Friday, so we can get the message out, and people can be like, and know that it's not just Veterans Day that I hope, or Remembrance Day, that people come out and support veterans and stuff like that. Just note that I just hope that this raises awareness and helps some people out with transitioning and back from military life, or from dealing with the trauma of their lives. But at the same time, I hope it brings more awareness to people. Like, there are ways you can help. There are ways you can do things, and these people, men and women, are professionals, and they go off and do a job, and they come back from those jobs. But even professionals can have issues, and these guys, even if they are professionals, they're there because they want to serve, because they want to help. So it's important to help them when they need help.
Yep.
That's my sappy stuff right now. So
on a related note, I read that are you guys aware of the Poppy appeal?
Yes, I've heard of the Poppy Appeal.
Yeah?
The Poppy Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. For those unaware, it's a World War One thing. At the end of World War One, because of all the battles that were done over poppy fields and things, you can buy a poppy from I can't remember the direct foundation that does it, but it works out that they have raised £1 every second since the end of the First World War for these good deals, and that's a hell of an achievement. I think
£1 a second.
Yeah.
£1 a second since the end of the First World War.
Wow. Same organization. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's all because of, us, you.
Yeah.
Maybe not Americans, but
I don't know how many Americans know about the, other than honestly, the Fields of Flanders is probably best known as a punk rendition of that, rather than the actual song.
In Flanders,
the
poppies grow between the rock crosses, row and row.
Yeah, that's probably the closest we've ever gotten to understanding the Fields of Flanders here, outside of historians.
Yeah. Yeah. World War One was really bad.
If you want more information on World War One without, a light introduction, a very light introduction, do check out Blackadder Goes Forth, because
yes,
even though it's a comedy series, it was quite accurate, because you had the actor playing Marshall Haig, who would say, here's the offensive, push the troops forward, and then sweep them away into the bin. And it was a horrible fucking war that, thousands, millions of people would sacrifice their lives for 12 inches of gain and then lose it the next day.
Yeah.
We need to not ever do that sort of bullshit again.
It's really sad that we see people not remembering what either of the world wars were about and what they were fought for, because we should never go back.
And this year is important because it's the 100th anniversary.
Yes.
So 100th anniversary of the end of the war. So there is no more living memory of the war. There's nobody alive today who fought in World War One.
Yeah.
And we do have some records of those. We have plenty of journals and stories and an entire generation of art that was inspired or affected by World War One. And of course World War Two, which was heavily affected by World War One. But it's important that we remember it. Even it's been a decade. It's been a century. We need to not forget what happened last century. A century from now. Yeah. And we need to continue to remember why that war was fought, who fought it, what were the reasons behind it. Because Jesus Christ, it was a meat grinder.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
However,
it's very important to look at the events that led to World War One, because it was, yeah. It was not exactly straightforward. Yeah. Anyway,
on an entirely different note, we can certainly attack as many Vandal as we want without consequence.
Yes. So sorry, we've taken so long talking about that, but I think it is something really important, even if it's not 100% Star Citizen related. It is a bit because of the stack up campaign that you're running, Paul. Mm-hmm. And I think regardless, we talk about important things when we choose to here, because we can and because we will. That said, there is something else kind of important that happened recently. Shiver.
No.
Did you do something?
Hey, I have one of those too.
Yeah.
You got married.
Did you get yours at a cereal box too?
Yes.
Sure. Congratulations. From all of us who.
And may I extend my thanks to you, Nakara, CS, Stormy, Desmarius, Sunjammer, Jake, Dolva, absolutely fucking everyone. You're all awesome people. I love you all, and we'll get formal thank you cards out soon.
Really happy for you, man.
Yes. Extremely.
And thanks for showing up and doing this cast, even though you just got married. You should be off,
Yeah, I literally looked this morning. I was like, Shivers on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually posted in the podcast group, we don't have Shiver, so who wants in? And Shiver was like, I mean, I could be on. I was like, oh.
It only means getting up at 3 a.m. It's fine.
It's 3 a.m. Yeah. Also, where are you? If anyone can't tell from the rice paper doors back there.
The kimonos and rice paper doors behind you.
Oh, I'm so paranoid when I get dressed in the morning because I might fall over and just
go right through.
If an earthquake happens, you're like, is paper gonna hold?
No.
Nope.
But at least paper won't hurt as much when it falls on you.
Yeah.
True. Right, SOS.
Depends if you get paper cuts from it.
Yeah, you've always got something on hand to write a note.
Wow.
Oh God.
Okay. I guess we should probably talk a little bit about Star Citizen now, eh?
3.3 is out.
3.3 is out.
3.3.
I just finished downloading it this morning. Unfortunately, it's winter up here in Canada. Officially,
Fucking winter.
There is snow everywhere. So I'm busy like prepping my house for winter and covering things and doing out. So
Are you battening down the hatches?
Yeah.
You know what prepping my house for winter in Texas is like?
Nothing.
Changing the
Open
thermostat from cool to heat. That's it.
Wait, you actually use your furnace?
Only if it gets below 62 degrees Fahrenheit, just a little below 18 degrees, 19 degrees Celsius. Then we'll turn it up a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get 2 weeks of Canadian
weeks.
winter. We'll take 2 weeks of Canadian winter, which is like freezing and snowing and raining, and everyone hates you, and then we're done. But other than that, it's just kind of gloomy for a lot of.
I actually did find it really interesting because Texas weather seemed very, very similar to Ottawa, but we flipped them.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were down there for CitizenCon, it was actually really cold in Texas and windy and kind of rainy and miserable. In Austin, it was hotter up here in Ottawa than it was in Austin.
Yeah, and then it flipped.
Yeah, love it. Okay, I think we do have something to show here. Give me just a second to
do we have things?
I think we have something to show. I just have to find it.
Well, we should have the gas cloud stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. It's in a folder. I'm just. What are we? We're November. Where in the alphabet is November? There it is. God.
9.
Just.
It's September. 11.
Okay, here we go.
That's where it's in the alphabet. It's 11.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is
It's a shape.
It's a shape that they then do this stuff to.
It's a shape that they do stuff to. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool. The gas tech look really cool, and I don't know. If
that's the finished product. It's pretty cool.
I don't know if they talked about this a lot, but one of the things they mentioned was that the gas tech that they have implemented now is actually a 75% savings on the performance.
They were talking about that at CitizenCon. How significant? Well, and it's not just the gas tech either. It sounds like, the gas tech, the clothing tech, all of the tech that they're working on, all of them sound like they're 4, 5, 6 times performance improvements, which is
and like the cloth tech, the really crazy cloth tech that they were doing, one of the things that they highlighted was there's no performance impact from this at all,
which is
nuts. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Which is literally.
I have a theory, which is that the gas tech helps because it obscures vision, and because it obscures vision, allows the culling of anything behind it.
Yeah.
So it improves performance because it's actually allowing for the culling to work in a broader
I'm
sense.
just still amazed because I remember when particle effects were like, it'll break your computer, and then it'll catch on fire, and then your house will burn down, and then and then we get these kind of clouds, and I'm like, what?
I still remember some of the first games I ever played, like the first games with graphics. So, beyond King's Quest, right? I played King's Quest and it was whatever. But like some of the first games with graphics, like Duke Nukem 3D.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Great game.
There's a game that I played that I don't think anyone else will know, and I've got to remember the name, but it was a claymation game from ages and ages ago.
Were you a little blue ball that could stretch and...
No.
If you stretched up, you could lift up and...
No.
Cool Spot?
No. It had a phenomenal soundtrack. I've got too many albums. I don't remember what it's called. Fuck. Sorry. You guys keep talking. I have to find this.
I will say the graphics in Star Citizen, like I've been playing Fallout 76 beta. It's not a terrible game. There's many issues it has, and I think I personally am going to kind of like stay away from it for a couple of weeks, if not a couple of months, to see how they fix it. And then I'll pick it up later when it goes on sale. But
I really like the multiplayer PvP-ness of it, where it's multiplayer, but they're not assholes about it. Yes. So, sorry.
I actually got a chance to play it for 2 hours only because I didn't have a very big window. I thought it was pretty good. There were definitely problems, but I was actually impressed by how smooth it ran. Mm-hmm. For where it's at. Anyway, go ahead.
Like that game, it looks all right and it plays okay. It feels like a AAA title, but it feels like in a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
And then you step into like 3.3 and you're like, holy fuck. Like Star Citizen's graphics and just like the animations and everything, it's just like no one else is doing this. Like even like it feels like even like EA with the what's the Frostbite engine? Even it feels like they cheat to get what they need to get. Whereas Star Citizen's just like, nope, fuck you. You can do this without a cinematic. We're just gonna do it and not have a can. Fuck the can. Everyone's everything. So to a degree, it's paying off. A lot of that effort into tech and to building up. It feels like what Star Citizen's doing is creating the game that's going to sell Lumberyard.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
It's the CryEngine. It's the CryEngine of the 21st century.
I have a distinct feeling that that's part of why they switched over to Amazon, because I'd imagine Amazon are willing to give very, very cheap server rentals for a game that sells their engine.
And I think they were looking ahead and going, Crytek's not going to be around by the time we release this game. So, yeah.
They would have found that out since they have half of Crytek as their staff members now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just wanted to come at it from a different direction too, though. I've been playing Red Dead 2, and it's kind of the opposite because that game is probably the prettiest game ever made.
Piece of shit. It's not on PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it comes onto PC, it'll be the prettiest game ever made.
Yes.
It is, and one of the things that I'm like, I can see, and it's like all the little details, the bugs floating around in the air, and like the pollen floating through the air, and all the little tiny graphical details. And I come to Star Citizen, and I'm like, I think. What blows me away is I think that's kind of what they're going for, but in a multiplayer environment, which is insane.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still cheating because they're getting it away with in a single player environment.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely much easier to do in single player, and
I want,
and also like the what's up?
I want to hear what Shiver was saying because Shiver was trying to get a word in, but he's delayed by Japan time.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Shiver.
No. Go ahead. No, I can wait. I can't even remember what it is now.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll just mention something and maybe give you a few seconds to try and think of it. The thing that kind of twigged me was that I watched that game and I see how many. There's an animation in Red Dead for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are no actions that your character does that there isn't an animation for, or that it like. I know it doesn't seem janky, and
I'm going to throw a giant wrench in your thing when you're done.
I want to too.
Yeah,
me too.
Why?
All of those animations are recycled from previous Rockstar games.
Oh, probably.
half of those were just touch up animations that from like.
I just wanted to say that I understand now why it takes so long for Star Citizen to build up a huge library of animations. Because they've been working on animations for like 5 years.
But they're also working on animations for. So, Red Dead isn't unified, right? It's not unified first and third person. They can get away with.
Well, they don't have to. Yeah.
They can get away with a shit ton more than Star Citizen can. So, Shiver.
They also Rockstar also did motion capture for a lot of that, which is why their animations are lovely.
Yeah.
And as Paul said, they are recycled. Just touching up animations that you've had for 5 years is a hell of a lot less work than let's make all the animations for our game.
Yeah. And that's fantastic. People are like, well, and it's like, it's fantastic. But when you compare two games against each other, you have to take into account certain differences. Like, for instance, Rockstar has a library of animations going back several, like 20 years that they could probably pull from. Maybe not all of them are good, but that's you still, even if you had like 25%, it makes it a lot easier to make a game like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I'm sure they do it back to Red Dead 1 and took a look at some of the horse animations. I mean, the horse animations are a million times better than this game, but I'm sure they took some of it from the first game.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are people from the original Red Dead team who were working on Red Dead. So,
and they also do a really good job, but you do also have to think how. I mean, no, it's not that we can't appreciate it. We can.
No, it's a great game.
It's great, but
there's a reason it's got a 97% review.
What we're trying to say is because we brought it up earlier. We were talking about how Fallout 76 and Star Citizen is like night and day in terms of animations, quality, and then we're also bringing up that Red Dead 2 was also very fucking beautiful in comparison. And Star Citizen, and we were thinking about like the graphical comparisons between Star Citizen and Red Dead 2, and we're bringing up animations and how like it takes time, and it's really it shows that Red Dead 2 was taken care of by Rockstar, but they took their time on it. It's why it took them so long to make it.
Here it is. This is what I want to say. Red Dead Redemption 2 required 8 years of dev time.
They also had 3,000 people in the credits.
Yeah. That's
plus countless numbers of people who have been working together for a decade plus.
Plus, Rockstar has an absolutely abysmal policy, apparently, of if you're not working for the company when the game finishes, they don't put you in the credits.
Wow, that's kind of shitty.
Which is disgusting. Straight up disgusting.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. There were a bunch of articles about it right when Red Dead launched.
Wow. How long would the credits have been if they included everybody?
I don't know, but I find that to be abysmal. And Rockstar they actually confirmed that it is their policy to not put people who aren't there at the end of the game into the credits. And that's disgusting. People are like, anyway, I've got some issues with.
It's not going to stop me from playing the game.
No.
Was it really 8 years?
8, apparently. The only article I was able to find was 8 years.
That's a hell of a long time for
a single player game. Yeah,
they've got their tech. They've
got an established studio. They've got as much money as they want from GTA 5.
They have fuck you money. GTA 5. Let me put it this way: GTA 5 is the most successful franchise in history. Not video game franchise. Not driving franchise. It beats Star Wars in terms of its money. It has they make more money than fucking Marvel with GTA.
Fucking shark cards. Anyway,
that's how much money they've made with it. So they have Disney fuck you money.
I did find the game that I was talking about earlier.
Excellent.
I'm gonna transition over to it because we've been watching Cloud Tech for a bit. I think. Did it transition?
What's it called?
The Neverhood.
Oh, yeah, I remember that game.
Phenomenal soundtrack. Like, absolutely. Return of the Neverhood is the soundtrack. It is just eclectic and wonderful in every single way. But I remembered that for the longest time because it was like stop motion claymation. I remembered that for the longest time as like, why aren't other games this good? This game is excellent. But it's
Smooth.
because it was smooth, and it had hands before hands were a thing.
Yep.
But it's because they did everything stop motion, right? And now you kind of see that with games like Red Dead, way more games, and Star Citizen and everything else, but that they do motion capture for everything, and it makes it look phenomenal. So
there was years and years ago, there was one of the earliest games that adopted motion capture was a 2D beat 'em up game for the Amiga, and it was about robots hitting robots. Not a very good game, but everyone said looks quite nice and performs well.
yeah. Okay, right. There are more videos to show. Give me just a second. Let's go
Excellent.
to that.
This week felt very light on news, but not light on news. Like,
It was very heavy on very specific aspects of the news.
Yeah, actually, there isn't
Oh my
really
God.
any more video to show, except for this one little tiny clip of a ship in a giant cloud.
as part
that's
of the
from the
SpongeBob
trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is pretty, but that's all we got. There was nothing.
I like that. I like that logo. I don't
It's-
think I've ever actually watched it far enough
nice.
to see that. We'll have to change our
Yeah,
header thing on Relay.
yeah, we will.
But I confirmed that I found a couple articles that mentioned the 8-year development time for Red Dead. Doesn't really surprise me. Fallout 4 took 8 years.
Yep.
Yeah, really good games take a really long time.
I've been having this argument a fair bit lately.
We've been having this argument for like 20 years.
We have, but
Or at least it feels like that.
it took them 8 years to do Red Dead, but they only announced it in 2016. So they announced it 2 years before it came out, and that was delayed. They had planned on putting it out in 2017, but it was delayed to 2018, right?
And then it was delayed again to October.
Every single game takes as long as Star Citizen nowadays. If you want a decent AAA game,
Not Fallout 76. It's like 2 or 3 years.
but Fallout 76 is Fallout 4
Yeah, totally is.
multiplayer. Like, there's no difference, and that's the same with Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and Battlefield. They are all
They're
the same game that are just
reskins of
recycled.
other games. Yeah.
The games that you really notice, the ones that matter, Red Dead 2, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
God of War, and you notice I'm saying a lot of Sony things right now, but they've been doing.
I was thinking console things.
Yes.
I hate that they're on console, but they're good. And they take a long
Yes.
time, but it shows because God of War doesn't look like it's a console game. Red Dead 2 doesn't look like it's a console game because they take the time to make them.
No, I'm honestly astonished that they can get Red Dead 2 running on a console because, like, I'm playing it on my 4K TV and it looks perfect. I'm like, okay, how did you do this? Well, I guess 8 years of development will do it. But
Yeah. Okay, so I
Anyway.
want
Those,
to.
we lots
do
of
you think they have their own version of OCS, Object Cowboy Streaming?
I want to quickly cover some of the things that they talked about this week on the other shows, Calling All Devs and RTV, the notes of which
we
are
still
on
haven't
Relay.
really talked about ATV yet.
I know, we haven't.
I mean, let's talk about ATV in 2 seconds.
Yeah, okay, do it.
All right. So Chris went on. Sandy asked a bunch of questions, and Chris was like, we don't have enough time to fully build out a 3.4 build like we would normally do. So we have to push a lot of the stuff that would be in 3.4 to 3.5, and the stuff that was the stuff we can put into the 3.3 build, which will then just kind of roll into 3.4. We'll do it. Which basically what 3.4 is going to be is less content heavy and more ships and
not feature
armor and
heavy,
weapons and
it's
stuff like that. It's
fixes.
It's fixes and ships, pretty much. So no female character models. We move to 3.5. Flight models we move to 3.5, and what was the last big one? It was Arc Core. Arc Core and its moons moved to 3.5. So,
Yep.
Can we quickly touch on the female characters thing? Because
Yes.
in case you haven't noticed, most of us are men, apart from Eris, who self-identifies as a moose.
Yeah.
But Ms. Hartz was talking about it and raised a point that none of us would ever have even thought of if it's all male characters right now, potentially to any females, this could be seen as not exactly hostile, but not open to women. If it's all just men and men characters, it kind of comes across to her as they've put men first. And I would never have thought that.
I mentioned this in the Space Bros show, and I was going to say this, but I wanted to give us more time to talk about other things. The one thing I would say is it's an issue of representation, and representation is a big thing. And I'm still putting together a long video for the end of the year, which explains why Star Citizen needs to up its representation game. And whenever I say representation, someone comes out of the woodworks and starts screeching about SJWs or some other nonsense like that. And I know it's not important to get political, but it's important to understand. But it's important to understand what I mean by representation. So Star Citizen is an MMO. MMOs traditionally have had higher percentage of women playing them than most of other genres in gaming. That's just, there's plenty of statistics out there that kind of cover it. It's like somewhere between 36 and 40% of
women
MMO
actually play
players are
more
women.
games than men.
They do, but most of them play match 3 games,
Yes.
which are the Candy Crush, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is fine. But like 70% of the players of match 3 games are women. Which is
I play
one of
those
the largest-
things. They're fucking addictive, man.
They are, but they're one of the largest markets in gaming.
Yes.
Like women are probably the most profitable market for gaming.
Probably.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
just
it's why mobile games are so popular.
Whenever there's
Look
a
at the
whiny
Sims,
gamer
too.
guy who's like, "Oh, women don't know it." Guy, they play more and make companies more than you ever will. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So,
Go grow
but my
up.
point is that when you have this demographic and you have Star Citizen, which is trying to be the MMO of MMOs, the next gen MMO, you get a lot of attention. And I've seen this, and I've heard Miss Harris talk about this. I've heard Sophie Girl talk about this. I've heard Eden Star talk about this. I've heard plenty of women in the community today talk about this, which is without female character models or without making them a priority, then it comes across as CIG doesn't care about women or the women characters, or the women population. Yes, I know. There's lots of people who say, well, that's not the case, all that kind of stuff. The problem is that they've been promising female character models since 263. And it hasn't, now they're pushing it, you're kicking it down the road again. Now, there are reasons why that is the case, and it feels like they made it more of a priority now, but it still does not feel right for most people. And think about this as someone who is outside of the Star Citizen community, say maybe there's a woman out there who wants to play the game. I mean, my wife doesn't want to play the game until there's female character models. I've heard this from other...
Mrs. Eris has said that she has no interest at all in the game until there are 2 things. Mining, which is it.
There is.
Mm-hmm.
And female characters.
Which
Why,
are in March.
But why are they in March? Like...
I mean, I understand why.
Well, I mean, okay. So if
I
you understand why they, if you understand why they can move the rest of the stuff out to 3.5, you have to be able to understand why the female characters are moved.
At the same time, they have obviously not made it a priority because they've made flight priority, they've made character customization a priority, they've made more male options for armors, weapons, clothing. All those were priorities. And I would be okay if they said, we don't give a shit about this. You get the same dude in the same armor set while we're working on features and other things. That would have been okay, but they made those priorities, yet they did not make the female character model a priority. And that sends a very bad message.
I agree with Disco there, actually.
I am...
Okay, Lando, that's fine. You can disagree with me, and you can say that. But I'm just saying from the outside of the community, that's what it looks like.
Well, it might be what it looks like. I don't. But you were saying
I
that's
understand.
what it is. And
I don't think
that's
it's
what it is.
intentional. It's like any of the other stuff that doesn't get done on time. I get that it's not done on time. It sucks when stuff's not done on time. It sucks that lots of stuff from 3.4 is slipping. I am excited for nothing more than I am for Salvage. I really don't want Salvage to slip, man. That sucks. But at the same time,
Well,
I understand what it does. I understand that female characters are slipping. I don't like it.
No, I hate. I honestly, when I saw that, I was just like, that's the one thing I really didn't want to slip.
Yeah.
And people are saying, oh, it looks this way to me, and they're saying that I'm being overreactive. Ask any of the female content creators. Oh, you can't because they don't make content anymore because they feel like they shouldn't. They don't feel like they're represented. I am not trying to sit here and put CIG on trial. I'm just trying to point out there are members of this community that feel like they're being underrepresented. And they are. And Disco Lando can say that's bullshit all he wants. He can pull out all these facts. These are the facts. You said 263 women were going to be in the game. Or you said that you were trying to get in the game. It's been 2 fucking years. All right? I'm sorry, but
the views of
that shit. I'm gonna
the views of Paul the Astro Pub Shelley do not necessarily no. Shiver.
It comes down to priorities of it is important to have gender diversity in a game. No one's denying that. But you've got this 2 million plus fan base, rabid, like, where's this, where's that, where's salvage, why can't I do this? And it's like, I'm gonna fucking do this. And I get both sides of the argument, but I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be sexist, but I would prefer they do what they keep doing, and, when it comes round to female avatars and they can be like, okay, well, we can now put these in. Okay, I get them. I don't know if I'm just sat here with me bits dangling between me legs and I can just sit here and say it, but if it was a woman, I wouldn't care, because it's not like, I wouldn't care. You've got an avatar in the game, you can't really customize it, and that's all you need to be able to test it. But at the same time, I can understand why a woman would want, or whoever, it doesn't matter, would want to play a female character, but it doesn't make any difference to the testing. But I can see what
we don't have very good numbers, but Nakara, the last time that we ran that survey,
we have pretty good numbers because every survey that's ever been run has said exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
about 10% of the population, right? Or
no,
1%?
3 to 4%.
Okay, is women.
That's, and I'm sure CIG have better numbers than we do.
But that's still, the numbers all the community surveys have come up with has been between 3 and 5%.
Winnie wants to know if there's going to be bears in the game, and I said only in the gay community sense.
My end statement is something that I've actually been talking a lot on Twitter about Fallout 76 this week, in that Star Citizen isn't even a beta yet. It's still alpha. At the end,
arguably pre-alpha.
I'll arguably pre-alpha, wherever you want to call it. It is nowhere near release. And I would be a bad person if I sat there and gave Fallout slack for still being a beta and not give CIG slack for still being an alpha. They don't have to give us nearly as much as they do. They don't have to prioritize, like, they can choose what to prioritize. I really want them to do female characters right. I think
the community underestimates how much work.
I don't want it. I think it would actually be worse if they launched female characters and said, you've got a female character, but you only have one set of armor. And also there are no animations for getting into ships. And there are no animations for, we don't have the stopping animations for walking. And we're just going to, they can't.
Okay. Let me step in another direction then.
Okay.
Why do we have the male animations? Why wasn't the female and male being made side by side? Why does it seem like that the male animations are being created and the female animations have to continue to catch up to the male animations?
Because then you have to do all of the work twice. Every time you adjust anything, you have to adjust it twice.
Don't you have to do that anyways?
No, they had to do it. They had to do it once. They had to redo all of the male animations, and part of the problem was they didn't know for the longest time the extent of the animations required. Keep in mind, for the longest time, we didn't have to do lots of stuff. Like as the game expanded, we needed more animations, and it's kind of like things like the ship pipeline or the like armor pipelines, the weapon pipelines. Let's be honest, at the beginning, things were a clusterfuck. And we know they were actually at one point doing all of the female animations. I'm pretty sure they did a full set of them.
We've got the videos of them working on the female animations. That's the reason. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people that I've talked to have said, where's the female character model? Because it's not like we haven't seen them working on it. It feels like.
Yeah, I think those are just so out of date that.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks. But I think they do have to do a lot more work before the animations are ready. And it's CIG's pretty consistent decision to wait until everything is ready rather than release anything, theoretically. I mean, we get...
There are some animations that can be shared, like the way someone holds a gun, something like that, but then there are animations that need to be unique, like a female walks differently to a male. And you can't. I think their original
the armor is going to cover
the ones and change it.
Yeah, armor is going to cover differently, so the hand.
Well, and they were talking about it. They were talking about it last week, or this week of height differences, and for the longest time we didn't actually know if female characters would be the same height as male characters and the exact because keep in mind, I think 4 or 5 years ago, CIG actually straight up said, no, all characters will be the same height and the same body size because we can't differentiate anything because of the way seats are done. And that's when they were working on those female animations. And then things changed. And I mean, they're putting in a shit ton of work to make it so that you can have a more representative female who is 5'8", not 6 foot. That takes a lot of work, not just for animations, because they can't just scale the animations down. They have to redo every single animation.
Because the ship cockpits are a big problem for that. Because all the animations are, all of them change every time you do. But Disco's right. It's not just animations. There's a lot of stuff. And
I understand that.
I understand.
But my point is not to say CIG is sexist or whatever. My point is, because I don't think they are. They have, CIG, from what I understand, has got some ridiculously integrated staff in terms of racially, culturally, sexually. There's lots of various people who work at CIG. I'm not thinking of that at all. What I'm saying is it does not come off well, and I know that there have been women in the community, and I'm sure women outside of the community looking into the community, who are turned off by the idea that CIG has not made this, or doesn't seem to have made this, as much of a priority as the male models. And there are reasons, and there are other things that can be said, but that's the reality. You can say 3.4 is, most of stuff at 3.4 is being delayed because of other technical issues, which is true, but 3.4 is still being delayed.
We do talk about
there's realities, and then there are perceptions and the actual
We talk about perception fairly often, actually, like the improvement in perception when CIG don't put up giant packages, or the problems with perception when CIG try to sell tickets to watch stuff. There is a problem with perception, and perception is not necessarily reality, because we understand what they tried to do with CitizenCon and why they wanted to sell the tickets. It was the perception that's wrong. And I hate to say it, but there's not much that CIG can do about perception. That's us. We come up with those perceptions. I think. Anyway, I think we could yell at this for a long time, but
we could, and I feel like it's something that needs to be brought up, because there are, again, as I was going to bring it up later, but Shiv brought it up first, in terms of the sense that
sorry,
we have friends in the community who are women who feel underrepresented,
and not enough of them because they just don't exist.
And the thing is people say it's 3 to 5%. What would happen if this game had more avatars?
I have a great
participation increase.
I have a great hindsight idea. why they should have made all the characters Vandal to begin with.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We wouldn't have had this problem at all.
I love it.
We should have made them all floating golf balls like that bug in 3-3. They were just a tiny little golf ball.
I love it. Okay. Let me see if we've got any. We don't have any questions yet, really. So if you guys want to ask us some questions, we have one.
Yeah. So questions.
Is there actually anybody in the Twitch chat? Because I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, there's tons of people.
Oh yeah, there's a lot,
including Disco. I think he's still here.
I would love to get some kind of a nonsensical question from Disco.
If Disco is here, can I just say, dude, you work so fucking hard.
Yeah.
You got a horrible job, and somehow you still do your job so well, and you've got a smile on your face, and I respect you and I fear you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I may have words with Disco every once in a while, and me and Disco have talked personally about stuff in the past. But at the same time, Disco Lando still brings a lot of creativity to his work in a job that's incredibly hard. It's like running a news show, but
Worse.
Where you have to chase down people who don't want to be on any kind of video at all, and like, who does this job? Someone over there. Let's go find out that person. Exactly.
No, one of the things
it's like when you order some food and there's a problem with the food. It's not the chef's fault. It's the person who brought it to you. It's all their fucking fault. There's something wrong with the game. Poor old Lando gets it in the neck, and he's like, "I'm just a messenger, dude."
Yeah.
So,
Disco has been doing a phenomenal job since he showed up. Yeah, thank you, Disco. It's really appreciated. It's actually great to know. One of the best things about Disco, for anyone that doesn't know, is that he was a fan of the project before he ever worked at CIG, and that's actually something that can be said for many of the people at CIG, but it's especially evident in Disco because he's kind of one of the faces of CIG now, but he loves it just as much as we do, only he gets paid for it, unlike us.
I still, because these retweets keep popping up from one of the groups that I stream, or I'm subscribed to on Twitter, but they always pop up like these news things, and one of the captions is always the Disco looking into the empty Frankfurt office, the 2001 rendition thing that he was doing, and I was like, so I always come back to that. I'm like, Disco Lando does this, still finds time to be creative, even though he flew halfway across the goddamn world to do there to interview people so that he could get a 20-minute video made for the fan community on a Monday. Like that's, but he still has all this other. He still has his creativity expert to do all these kind of things. So that like proves passion in the project at the very least, I think, to me. So
yeah. So now that we've fawned over Disco enough, we still don't have any questions.
I think it's just important. I think it was important that to understand that.
Oh, geez.
People like me, because I've been told in the past that
thanks
I'm
for
negative.
that raid there, Romac. Apparently.
Yay, raid!
Hello. Welcome to whatever this is.
With a party of 90?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
If anyone has any questions for us, ask them. We're talking Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I talk about one other thing?
Yeah.
I was going to say. It's important to understand that, like, people like me, I tend to be fairly negative on certain aspects of the project, and that's because I like the project a lot and I want to see it succeed. So if I'm negative to it, if I hit it with a wrench, and someone like Disco is able to buff that dent out, it means that when someone comes around with like another wrench, Disco knows where the wrench is going to hit. You know, it's better that I do it because I care about the project, in my opinion, than someone who has no fucking idea what the project is and comes in and just starts swinging it. So, and hopefully it makes everything better, you know. But on top of that, I was going to say one thing that this week's ATV did very well is it explained how CIG makes their builds. They've kind of talked about it in the past.
I love that.
The idea that it's like, hey, we have a game dev. This is where all the stuff is. And then we pull parts of the game dev out to make a patch. And that patch is for 3.3, 3.4, whatever. But that game dev is constantly building. So, but it takes them time to pull that out of game dev, link everything together, make it its own standalone thing, and then find all the problems with it. So it's not really like that 3.4 is not complete. It's that game dev has finished a lot of the stuff for whatever patch, but now you have to make it work in its own standalone patch. So it's less of constructing for a specific build and more constructing in game dev and then porting it over is the hard part. So.
Yeah, one of the things too is that that they actually talked about is how they're going to be working in the future to try and improve the quality of game devs so it doesn't take as much time to clean things up when they pull them out.
Yeah.
Basically, that'll break down to everything that goes into game dev will have to work first properly before they put it in there, which makes sense. But yeah, they want to have less time spent just trying to clean things up when they try and build a new build.
Okay, we're gonna start answering some of these questions now. We've got a couple, which is great because it means I don't have to start singing yet. So Fastcart says, I played Star Citizen for 4 hours last night. It's the longest I've played since 2016. Can you recommend a good way to remember keybinds and shortcuts? God, I wish I could.
Okay, so
Muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory is the best one. It depends on what your control setup is, but what I do is I'd go into free flight, play around with controls, figure out what you can do, make sure you go in and map everything, and then save. You can actually export your bindings, and then you can bring them back in future patch. So you can actually export your own bindings, and then you have to update them every once in a while when they add new things or they change things around. But that helps a lot because then you just remember instinctually what it is. So.
If you're a HOTAS user, what I do is everything that's like targeting, offensive, whatever is on the stick. That's direction, offense, targeting. Everything to do with navigation is on the throttle, and then it's sort of you've got this thing in your head. Everything I need to do to navigate is over here. Everything I need to do to shoot the crap out of someone is over here, and that helps as well. And it's like I know I can walk away with this over here on my finger, and yeah, that sort of thing helps as well.
I have no idea. I'm really, really bad at Star Citizen, and I'm going to continue being really, really bad at Star Citizen, probably pretty much forever.
I'm going to ask one thing of you, Eris. What about something you're really, really good at, which is writing? Have you been doing your writing month so far?
I actually was doing my writing month pretty well, but then the U.S. election happened. And I gave myself a couple free days of Twitter, but those are now over, and I'm going back to writing again. So the writing is going to be starting again.
For those of you guys who don't know, that Eris is a aspiring / actual author.
He's an awesome author.
He's got a book which he's only let a certain number of people read, and everyone who I've talked to who've read it has said it's really good. And I've been like, Eris, publish the damn book. You can do it. You can.
The problem is, I'm writing it in 2 parts.
Yes, he is aspiring / author.
I'm 100%. I write so much slash, guys. What's slash?
I'm not going to tell you what slash is.
Guns N' Roses, isn't it?
That's a TOS violation right there.
Yeah, no shit.
Disco
Actually,
trying to get us thrown off the air.
in line with what Fastcar was saying, the top post on Reddit right now is, for the first time since I backed this game, I was able to play for 2 hours without crashing and with high FPS. Thank you, CIG.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great
and by high
picture.
FPS, there were some people with potato builds who are getting 30 FPS, and they're like, I can boot the game now.
I think it was Acid who was actually saying, and Acid does actually quite a lot for Relay. Acid is awesome. He runs a bunch of the shows. Anytime I'm gone, he's probably running the show with Shiver, which is amazing. But he was saying that he was like, this is the first time I've been able to run the persistent universe when 3.0 was in PTU, or 3.3 was in PTU. Sorry. And he was like, this is the first time I've been able to run it ever.
It also gave me a very good indication of what the problem with my computer is in terms of running Star Citizen. I can run it great, I got literally no performance boost from 3.3, which has led me to believe that my video card is totally maxed on what it can do.
Okay,
we got a CPU dependent.
We got a
I know,
bunch
but
of questions.
I'm pretty sure I'm not CPU bound.
Okay.
I have an 8-core 16 threads, so...
Oh boy
What's the speed,
asks, what happened to Reco mission? I can't interact with her.
I think it's buggy. Some people can do them and some people can't. Like I know Moonbase can't do it, but then I also saw like Juntao said he could do. He did like one mission before yesterday.
Give it a couple patches.
Yeah.
Bryce Arena asks, do you think CIG should take a closer look at the chair tech so the characters with differing height can get better view in the cockpits?
I agree.
Yes.
They should figure out a way to do it procedurally.
If a female character model is 5'8", it would make it a lot easier if you could just change the adjustments on the height.
The Astro Pub just put it in chat, but I do want to call out right now. The Astro Pub is running. Paul is running a fundraising campaign for veterans. 7 Days of Valor. There's a link in chat right there. If you can, please go donate. It is Remembrance Day weekend, or what is it that you call it, Paul?
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. Veterans Day.
Okay. The reason I don't know why we called it Veterans Day. I think the reason why is because there was a Veterans Day holiday.
You used to call it Armistice Day.
We did, but I think we also had another holiday that was veterans of Civil War that eventually got rolled into veterans of all wars.
Yeah.
Which is an
And
old
you don't celebrate the
Civil
E-Day
War.
either, obviously.
Yeah.
No,
we don't.
But I think essentially what happened is we had both of those holidays, and the federal government is, why do we have two holidays instead of doing the same thing? Let's just merge them together. And so, like somewhere in like the early 20th century, they just merged the holidays. Yeah. That's all it was.
But if you can donate, do that, because our veterans are outstanding and they need the support.
Mm-hmm. And Stack Up is a great organization because it helps veterans with adjusting back into civilian life. It helps active duty soldiers who need to decompress after stressful situations or just life, just like anybody else does with video games. And these are all people who play video games. So they get video games they buy video games, they send them overseas to troops, all NATO, Australian, and New Zealand, forces, and they also do they have local stacks, which are organizations that get together with civilians and veterans to kind of engage. They go to conventions and all sorts of things. It's a great group to help if you're a gamer, because they don't just send troops to soldiers, they also help veterans with coping with their own lives and adjustment to civilian life with video games. So yeah, the link is right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 times. Okay. I want to go through some of these questions pretty quickly. So let's do a roundtable. Fastcart asks, how much of 3.3 have you played since it's gone live? Shiver?
Well, this PC-less house, it's typical. I've got fucking amazing internet here, no PC.
And you're running on a tablet, right?
Right now, I've got a tablet and my smartphone. Even with OCS, I don't think that's going to handle stuff.
I'm going to pause this for a moment. Thank you, Romac, for donating $100 towards the goal. We've now over $2,000 so far. So thank you, Romac.
That is amazing. Thanks, Romac. That's
awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Paul, how much have you played?
Since it went live?
Yeah, live.
Since the moment it went live till about 2:00 in the morning, my time. So about, I want to say 4 hours maybe.
Okay.
But I had to sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep. It did go live at super late at night my time, which means it was super early in the morning for those of you in the rest of the world, or super late, I guess,
late.
An upside down land.
Yeah.
But
Nakara, have you played any?
No, I'm just downloading it. I apologize to everybody. Red Dead. It really has just every moment I'm at work, I stop for a second. I'm like, God damn, I want to be playing Red Dead right now.
There's literally a South Park episode with them just complaining about and making references to Red Dead. Like a cop's like, I gotta solve this problem, but I just want to go back and rob a train, and
Yeah. I have not played it. I just updated it. I'm hoping to get in some tomorrow. There's so much going on.
Because I have ridiculously fast internet, I actually just updated to 3.3 while we were streaming.
Nice.
I hate you.
So I'm now at 3.3, and I will be playing.
Oh, this is a good one, and I want to cover it really quickly.
Okay, Disco is literally hunting raccoons in Red Dead right.
I'm really excited to play it, but I'm waiting for it on PC. Okay, Bryce Arena has a really good one. What do you think about Evocati leaks as a whole? Pros or cons? I feel like we could have an entire episode just about that.
Okay, so quick thoughts.
I don't think Evocati needs to last much beyond beta. I think Evocati would make sense, but at the same time, we don't really need it. That I think once you get to a certain stability point in terms of back-end stuff, Evocati doesn't make a lot of sense, because the reason why Evocati exists is to help test, but also to help test in a very directed manner, and for usually because of major issues in the back end. I don't know, CIG may keep them afterwards, but I think that most Evocati leaks are just attention for attention. Like the guy who leaks on Reddit, I'm pretty sure he just does it for the karma rather than actually any kind of... he makes it some sort of vague stance about how everyone should have information, but the reality is all that information is going to get, when ETF gets finished and gets to PTU, all the same stuff he leaked is still going to come out there. It's just a matter of time. And usually CIG talks about it anyways, even while it's in PTU. They still release screenshots and videos and stuff like that about the PTU or about the ETF. So to me, it just seems like it's a cause. The leakers feel like they're doing a noble cause, but in reality, they're just doing it for attention or fake internet. It's really what it is. I'm not super angry about it. I'm just disappointed, but whatever,
Hi, I'm back.
I just said that they're doing it for I just said I feel like they're doing it for fake internet points than actual, like, any kind of noble cause, but that's just, my opinion about that one. So,
I think that they're a breach of trust. I think that anyone that leaks is a bad person. No, I do. I think that anyone who leaks stuff from Evocati is a bad person. I think it may not always be, but it can be detrimental to the project. I think that if you're leaking, you don't care about Star Citizen, you care about yourself more than anything else, and you're a jackass, quite frankly. I also don't think that any of us should entertain...
When he resents that remark, some of his best friends are actually jackasses.
It's true. It is true. I also think that we, as Star Citizen fans, shouldn't look at Evocati leaks because I think they're a disservice to CIG, who do everything they can to give us, information when it's ready. I really, really do not like Evocati leaks, and I don't like people that leak, and I don't like people that look at leaks. That's it.
I'm a bad person. I don't leak things, but I do look at leaks sometimes.
I don't think the leaks are. I really don't think the leaks are a huge deal, because again, usually people talk about it anyways. The problem I have is that there are certain the attitude of leakers. It's like people are like, they know that people want to see the information, so if they say it's a leak and they put it on Reddit, they get lots of internet points. It's like people saying, "Oh, I sure should have the right to do what I want with my ship." When all you're going to do is buy an expensive ship with LTI, wait till it goes off LTI, then sell it for twice the amount on the gray market. Like, at least admit what you're doing. Like, you're not actually leaking for some sort of noble cause. You're just doing it because it gets you upvotes, because it gets you attention, which is fine.
I feel like if someone's shallow enough that it's internet points that you want and that is your goal in life, then you got to go out and see the sun, man. Like,
I don't disagree, but at the same time, like this, you're not complaining about it on the internet is like complaining about is like
oh, I know.
On the internet. It's not as useful as that.
Normally I don't complain. It's just we were asked.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Mr. Squarepeg says, with Valve making their own VR headset, what are your expectations for a Valve-made VR game and VR
Shiver.
headset?
You skip Shiver.
I know.
There were some.
What a bastard.
Shiver.
Shiver, what were you going to say about?
Oh, jeez,
about
I'm sorry, Shiver.
I'm genuinely true neutral about the whole leaks thing. It's your NDA. It's up to CIG if they want to say that arsehole's leaking. Let's fuck him over. It's your choice. If I see a leak and I'm like interested in it, I'll have a look. But I don't really, who gives a shit? At some point we're going to get it, probably a month later.
Yeah, but think about the biggest leaks that ever happened. Half that stuff is gone.
What, you mean the one that Disco Lando did?
Yes, that's the one I was talking about.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Disco. Sorry, Disco.
I hate he gets the blame for something that their own tech guy should have freaking caught, but because of a partial URL.
It is at this point part of Star Citizen's
story.
Yeah, it's part of the story at this point.
There better be a whole chapter about that in the making of Star Citizen.
Leaks and the leaking leakers that leak them.
I heard you like leaks.
Oh,
it's funny because leek soup is great. Okay, Mr. Swearpeg asked about VR headsets. I want to skip it because we've got a bunch of questions that I want to get to. But
so Valve looks like they're making their own VR headset. Okay.
Good.
Onwards, upwards.
Yep. Good. Also, Disco wasn't really at fault for Red 1, but got hit for. Disco,
that was Chris. That was Chris.
I know, but Disco gets hit for a lot that isn't.
That's
really...
why we were saying. That's why Shiva was saying. That's why Shiva was saying. Like, Disco gets a lot of blame and bullshit from the community for nothing, and he takes it like a champ.
Bryce Arena, do you like the format of this week's ATV, communicating and explaining delays? Would you add anything to it?
Yes and no.
About them communicating delays?
No, it's how they communicated the delay.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's how you do delays. Like someone said I've seen some people post like that. It was fine. Like the reality is, like I say that like it feels like CIG's not prioritizing female character models, but I fucking understand why it's been delayed because they explained it, and I was like, oh, okay, so just you don't have enough time. Like, okay, like it doesn't. I feel like they're getting better at it, but
I'd slightly changed delivery. I think it was a good idea the way they did it, but I think they should maybe have a QA person do it from, I don't know, Foundry, Germany or something.
Don't get me in trouble, Shiver. Don't freaking get me in trouble, all right? I've already gotten in trouble for that because they freaking cornered me. Oh gosh! Half of the Foundry team that was there were like, we heard about this joke that was like because Christian shared it with the entirety of the Foundry staff. Everyone in Foundry 42 knew about your joke with Melissa Estrada, and
oh boy,
and Jesus,
and
man! I felt like I was about to get like beaten up and like by a bunch of. I felt like what was his name from the big like Lebowski from Big Lebowski. I had a bunch of Germans about to beat the shit out of me and steal my bug. You know.
I'm sorry.
I want more questions asked to Chris.
Yeah,
I actually really liked the way that was all done.
I want more of Chris being asked questions, quite frankly. That's all I want. Okay, Fastcart asks...
also, Solus, this is not live. This is entirely pre-recorded. But
yes.
We anticipated you were going to say that.
Yeah. Fastcart asks, what did you guys think of Sandy playing the voice of the community when she asked questions the community may ask in the last ATV?
Great.
Loved it.
Yep.
I mean...
That's what I want.
And again, to give Disco credit, Disco started that a couple of months ago when he did that. Just sit down with Chris Roberts, and he asked a lot of hard questions that the community asked. So I think like they've broken through that barrier of being able to ask hard questions.
One of the things
that the community wants answered.
One of the things that we lacked for a long time was, and we've seen Chris every once in a while at like once every 3 months or so, but.
That's fine, I think.
It's fine, but I'd like slightly more often Chris questions. We need at least once a month where Chris answers just
what about
questions.
Aaron?
I'd love Aaron. I think they should get a rotating thing. Like 1 month it's Chris, month it's Aaron, like, 1 month it's Tony.
Maybe they should have like 10 questions for the guy in charge and call it like
they could
you know,
wait, I've got an idea for a name.
Yeah.
10 question for the man in charge. Great name.
Yes,
They could do that.
They could do something like, for instance, gather a bunch of Squadron 42 questions and sit down with the director of Squadron 42 so that he can answer those questions. Because like Chris Roberts is nice because he has a good knowledge of he's a good idea of everything. But in some cases, Chris is going to be answering general rather than.
I'd like to remind you for a second, Disco. Not only did we watch every single episode of 10 for the any of them, we transcribed word by word every single episode of 10 for the any of them. So when I say that I really, really want 10 for the any of them, believe me, I've put at least 4 hours into every single 10 for the any of them. I know what I want. I know why I want it. Thank you.
But
we're not transcribing them anymore.
No, we sure.
So, the thing is that like it'd be nice to have the bigger questions answered, but I think that sometimes Chris is the big question guy, and sometimes you don't want where is the Squadron 42 roadmap, and you want to know where is Squadron 42 in development, and that's not someone you're going to ask. You're going to ask Chris because Chris will give you
what he wants to.
Yeah, but if you ask the developer, like the actual director or someone who's in charge of production or some other person who knows the big picture of Squadron in more details, they may be able to answer it in a way that Chris wouldn't because they have a better idea of exactly where everything is. Because like Chris, I'm sure gets reports, but I'm sure Chris doesn't every day look at Squadron. I'm sure he sees it and he sees it when he needs to and he goes to meetings.
Plays it through the entire thing once a day, every day. Okay, I want to get these next few questions because we got a bunch and only 10 minutes left, and I have to leave at 4 because I have to go pick up my car because snow tires. Bryce Arena asks, how has 3.3 been for you? No idea. Paul?
Great. I mean, there's some bugs from PTU, but its performance is fine. I didn't crash once. There's some other small issues, but it's not bad. Not bad for a Star Citizen patch, especially since the performance is great. If you couldn't play 3.2, you can play 3.3 more than likely.
I honestly, crashes are what kill my gameplay sessions so much, because I get like really far away and I'm like doing stuff and it crashes the desktop and I'm like I can go play something else. Yeah. And so what I find is if I don't crash, I play much longer. And so I'm hoping that they can that over time we get fewer and fewer like straight up crashes because they suck. Anyway.
Next question, Shivers Teddy Bear Shaped Chin Hair asks has/is Relay doing some in-game play sessions together with 3.3 out now? We haven't yet because 3.3 just came out, but I know I plan on getting in. I know that Commander Llama wants to hop in with me as well. We're gonna play some.
VoIP works, by the way, which is fantastic.
It didn't work at CitizenCon. I'm excited to see it working.
No, not just VoIP, but VoIP. So there's some ways you got to make it work. Because like for instance, here's a quick tutorial. So you can put tutorial in the tags for your YouTube. When you hop into game, you have to hit your contacts on your mobile glass. You go to the general chat, and you'll see there's a mic icon and a kind of speaker icon that are checked, like crossed out. You have to hit both of those, turn them on first if you want to be in VoIP. So they have it off by default, and you have to engage it otherwise. So that means that people aren't running around blasting, the Numa song in VoIP unless you absolutely want to hear that Numa song being played.
I just showed that to Mrs. Eris. She had never. Oh my God, Baz News Baron is here. I screwed up that name, but hi.
Baz News Baron. Baz News Baron. Yeah.
He's my best friend. We're going to go and get kebab after this.
Baz News Baron. Agent 121370 asks, after walking through my empty hammerhead, I have decided that my style of play, mainly just myself, I need to get rid of my big ships. Could you guys recommend a medium ship for exploration? Freelancer.
Yeah, freelancer. Connie. Quote.
Yeah, it's more of a multiplayer. You can do it solo, but it's more,
Freelancer.
So freelancer.
Freelancer is your best bet
For now, yeah.
Until they can release a medium exploration ship, which
Which will be better because CIG hate the freelancer and will not fix the freelancer, and it is the only ship that hasn't had a good fix. And I'm saying this directly.
Hasn't it been fixed 3 times?
Yeah, but its fixes. We increased the size by a foot. Okay. We increased the size by 1 foot total.
They changed it quite a bit.
Nitro is right, but that's more of a small ship. Nitro says the turtle, the terrapin.
Yeah, the terrapin. Terrapin's a good explorer.
But the terrapin is also more of a small ship. It's a solo ship, but it's more of a smaller ship than something like the Dur.
Yes, it's really cool though. It's one of those ships. It's probably the coolest ship in my brain that I don't own. I love the idea of the exploration ship that can go into like super hostile territory and be just fine because it's armored to the nines. Yeah, anyway. What's our next question? We have 5 minutes.
Crap, really? The next question is, Bryce Arena, are you excited about the updates to the flight model characteristics that was moved to 3.4? Yes.
Yes. I wish I'd gotten to play it, but yes, I am excited for it.
I got to play it. It was fantastic. I
tried it, but I couldn't figure out the controls.
I would rather been in 3.4, but it's in 3.5 now, so I'm looking forward to it.
3.5 is going to be one hell of a patch.
Okay, I will say this, because everyone's being like one hell of a patch. There will be seepage.
Yep, there sure will.
Seepage. You will not have full containment of 3.4. It will dribble out into 3.5.
Unless Disco's willing to guarantee us right now that nothing will fall out of 3.5.
Maybe Disco guarantee.
I have a feeling that won't happen.
Oh man.
Right, there it is.
What's our next question, Eris?
1 second. I need to do something first. Here we go. Let's bring it to here. Bring this open. Done. Bring this open. Open.
Doing it live.
I'm doing it live. Sorry. 1 second. I'm getting this up on screen for Disco because there's a better version of the freelancer that needs to be put into the game, and I thought we'd put it up. Okay, next question. Slow Cart, hi FC, hi chat. Are you happy with the direction CIG is heading with the development of the game, and what are you looking forward to with release of female player models? Keep it classy, boys.
More diversity in the verse.
Maybe I'm also looking forward to convince Mrs. Eris to try it out.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to the dudes who are going to be playing female character models, and they have really deep voices. So when they turn on VoIP, like they'll be floating and VoIPing at the same time. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? You want to come with us? Mrs.
Master, come with you."
Exactly. Yes, the doctor girlfriend.
Let's get on your ship.
Yes.
I am a pirate.
I love that. I love that kind of stuff because it's just so ridiculous and fun. It's so
honestly, I'm just looking forward to the game world looking proper.
Yeah,
it looks weird with only men.
With only the same size people.
Where are females?
Yeah, that's true.
We're right here.
Okay, what is the new metrics page? Anyone know that?
Oh, I do. It's if you go to...
Is that the telemetry data?
It's telemetry data, yeah. You go to Star Citizen's website, and under community, I think it says telemetry.
Sweet. I gotta go check that out.
Community, it says... no, it's under development, it says telemetry. It's right next to Trapper and Issue, yeah. And I think
we can do this.
Pulls up yours, but...
Wait,
average loading. I like the average loading time is 35 seconds and the maximum is 657 seconds.
Wait, where is it? Quick, where is it? I missed that.
robertspaceindustriescom/telemetry. Just throw telemetry on the end.
If I can spell it.
TELEMETRY.
Oh, this is the like the frames everyone gets, right?
Yep, exactly.
It's fantastic.
With their hardware summary.
I remember watching them talking about putting this up at CitizenCon and literally being mind blown. The fact that they have this much information up for everyone it's knucking futs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There is no other word other than knucking futs.
Someone's getting an average of 81.1 FPS, and they have a 2080 Ti and an i7 5820K. Like ancient CPU, brand new, and is getting 81 FPS.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't even care what FPSs people are getting. The fact that CIG are like, look, most people are getting pretty decent FPS. Here's the actual live proof. There we go.
Yeah,
I love
a 960M at with an i5 7300 HQ CPU is getting 19 frames. I'm just looking through this. At the minimum specs, you should be getting about 40, according to this telemetry.
Fuck. I really want to get to these other questions, but I do have to go pick up my car because I have exactly 15 minutes to go pick up my car before they close, and I don't have
What are the other
car.
questions? What are the other questions?
The other questions are these. They're actually on screen quick. Because I'm really good at
things
and internet. Why should someone choose a Valkyrie over any other ship that can hold vehicles? Preferably not just because it has a bunch of turrets. Why pick up a ship?
You can play a certain song while flying it, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, when life support comes in, it should be.
We should probably let David go get his car.
The next one: are we able to buy, rent more variety of ships? Any idea or what needs to be done for it, if possible? I don't know when we're going to get
more. Hurston will have more ships as well because it's bigger than Levski.
Yeah. Oh, no. And Fastcart asks, Eris, how's your petition for a Tony Z show going? Hey, Disco.
Tony Z show. Come on.
Can we get a show with Tony on? Literally just Tony for like 4 hours. Can you just put a camera in front of Tony and be like, hey, Tony, how are you? And he just talks for 4 hours? No!
Crushing the dream.
Come on!
Bring this to Strata.
Can you just film him while he works? We don't even need to hear him talk.
Eris has problems.
Tony has work to do. I like that. Okay.
No, this came from Tony saying at CitizenCon that he could totally do another hour talking about
NPCs on multi-crew ships.
Yeah.
Like just that.
So I think we should actually transfer that question not from when can Tony Z have an hour-long TV show talking about NPCs on multi-crew ships, but Disco, when can we have anyone do a nice talk about
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he would.
Genuinely interested in a Disco Lando show where, this is how I start my day at work and this is what I do for the entire day. Obviously, you have to.
Can we have just a 24-hour disco show?
I know, but that actually might be interesting for anybody who doesn't understand what the different jobs titles are. Just be like, hey, this is what I do. I come into work. This is how I work. This is the average what we do. For community side, for marketing side, because a lot of people don't know what these people go through or how they work, and so a lot of people, it's easy to dehumanize CIG as a
I really do have to go. This is killing. I'm sorry. No.
See you later.
Before we go, Paul, put out that link again. I really, really do ask everyone to go and check out that link if you can. Donate if you can. It's for veterans, and they deserve all the help they can get and all the help that we can give because they are, very deserving of it. My words are very not working right now. Thank you all for being on.
And we're raising money for it throughout up until next Friday. So you guys are welcome to come in and hang out and do anybody who's streaming it or just donate or just spread the love. That's all we're just spread the word.
Everyone out there, thank you so much for how do I raid someone?
Slash raid and then space and then whatever their name is.
I need a name to someone to raid. I don't know how to do this.
Let me do it real quick.
Raid the base.
Who are you rating?
I don't know. Give me someone to rate.
Red Lear.
Redlir.
Actually, no. Nerd Show and Tell is raising money for Stack Up right now, and he just went online.
Okay, how do I spell his name?
Nerd Show and Tell. It's all one word.
God, I hope that works. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out and watching. Paul, thank you so much for being on and raising money. Shiver, you got married, man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Welcome,
Eric,
welcome to the club.
literally nothing special about either of us, but thanks for being on, Eric.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome.
Bye, everyone. And I'm going to try and do this. I have no idea if it works.
You
If
hit
it
hit enter, and then hit the top where it says, wait to just go, and then it'll go.
I hit
There you
that.
Sweet, it worked.
How do I hit raid now?
5,
It's not there
4,
yet.
3,
Oh,
2,
3, 2.
1.
Bye, everyone. We love you.
Bye.
Hit it.
Right now.
I hit
Bam.
raid now, and now I'm
We're
ending
good.
stream.